familiar. So if you don't know by now, then you should probably get familiar.
Guys, back to the Jinzo&Tonic channel. I have a special guest with me today. It's x23s, or otherwise known as, what was your other name that you had? WingZero.
WingZero.
Yes. There's a whole story behind that, but it's x23s. And he has just come top 4 in the largest online GOAT format tournament to date. He has just earned himself a place into the World Championships 2021. So big shout out, big congratulations. And let's get into the build. I see that you're running a Thunder Dragon Chaos build. Can you just take us through why you chose to take this build?
So when I was building this deck, I wasn't actually sure what it was.
Okay.
So when I entered the name, I said it was Thunder Dragon Chaos Control because I did use Metamorphosis. I basically did like 2 of everything except for Thunder Dragon. So it has like it has Chaos in there. It has 3 Chaos monsters. It has 2 metas, 2 scapegoats, and 2 Regaki breaks and 2 Night Assailants.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of everything. I guess it's kind of messy, but it worked out.
Okay.
I was actually going for a way where I could like discard and be okay. That's why I had Thunder Dragons and Night Assailants, because Chaos decks are weak against Gravekeepers.
Yes.
So I thought Regaki Break was good for getting rid of Necro Valley, or Regaki's Break is good against like a lot of stuff, like where there's like on the field. I mean, like where there's monster or trap. So it's kind of universal, and depending on the matchup, I can side it out later.
Yeah.
But it's real. Like it actually saved me a lot from like library FTK. I can just kill the library right away. Yeah. It's very universal.
So I'm just looking at your deck. I see that you have 1 Dekoichi and 1 Mystic Tomato. Is there any reason why that you went off one-offs with both of them?
Yeah, not really. Like if I was going pure Go control, I wouldn't even use Dekoichi. I would use Dark Mimic instead.
Yes.
I added the Tomato because I felt like in this deck Sinister is very important. So I wanted to get Tomato to Sanguine to Sinister right away.
Okay.
And that Dekoichi is just there as like a medium attacker kind of thing.
I see.
I often sided out the Dekoichi though for like Kaiku in the mirror.
Okay. I see you're only running 1 Kaiku. That's very. I mean, in your side deck, that's very brave considering. I'm sure you must have faced a lot of chaos today.
Yeah, I felt like if I verse Chaos, it's pretty close to 50-50. So I felt like I was more worried about like the special decks. So I tried to like focus more on the special decks. And during the mirror, I purposely sided in 3 7 tools of the Bandit, just so if anyone Solums, I could counter with 7 tools, and boom, they lose like 4,000. I lose like 1,000, and they pretty much lose right there.
Wow, that's very clever.
Which did happen in one of the games, but the thing is, I think he had like 2 Solums face down, and he used them like early, and I had ring for game, so I was expecting him to like solo my ring. I was gonna 7 tools it, but it turns out he didn't have an extra like 3rd Solum.
Oh, wow.
So I actually never used the 7 tools, but they were good for safety.
That's interesting because I tend to see people using 7 tools of the Bandit for mainly burn decks as a counter. I've never seen anyone try and use it against other chaos decks, but how you've explained it is actually, it makes a lot of sense because chaos decks do run a lot of traps, and Royal Decree can even counter your own deck if you're trying to stop a warrior deck or something along those lines that are just very trap heavy. So it's very clever.
Actually, yeah. So the Royal Decree was basically only in there for burn decks.
Yes.
Which I didn't face at all, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine.
If I did face a burn deck, I'd probably get rid of all my traps. Maybe not like the Regaki breaks, but all the other ones maybe.
Okay.
But I didn't get to face any burns, which was nice.
But now looking at your side deck, I see it's very different from majority side decks I see. You have 3 Mobius. What were the thinking behind that?
So the 3 Mobius was versed like mostly for like stall and for people who overcommit to the board in the back row. Okay. I'd say mostly for stall, and it really helped out for the library FTK deck I played. It basically saved the day.
I can imagine. Yeah, very, very good card. And then I see, and this is what you've been very keen about talking about, is your token Thanksgiving. Tell us the story about this and why you wanted to play this.
So when I was building my side deck, I was like, this is my first time taking the GOAT format tournament seriously. I played twice before, but I played I don't know. I guess you call them sleeper decks, sleeper meta decks, like just more fun decks.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but I actually played versus you in the last one.
Yes, I think. Yeah, I do. I do think I remember that.
Yeah, I played a machine deck versus you last time.
Yes. I remember it very well.
Yeah. So I just like playing like fun decks. So if I actually do well, I can be like, hey, it's super unique.
Yeah.
But then this time I'm like, maybe I'll try a more serious build. And then the troll in me had to put Token Thanksgiving in there. I was like, it might be hilarious. So, because Go format's very popular. I also used it specifically because I played you and you played Ojama Trio on me and locked me completely.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and I was just like, what? I was gonna put Mass Driver for the counter for that, but I thought Token Thanksgiving would be more hilarious.
No, it is a lot more hilarious. Yeah. So
I played. I should really remember his name. I think it was Alpha. Something Alpha. Okay. Sorry, I really should get his name right. I think he placed third. Alpha
yes,
something.
I think he placed third. Yes.
Yeah. So I played it against him where I gained almost the maximum. I gained like 8 scapegoats worth.
Wow.
And then so I gained 6,400 life points. I didn't win the game, but I was already happy. I'm like, yeah, like as soon as I played that, I'm like, I'm satisfied. Like I got my invite, which I wasn't expecting at all, and I played an hilarious card.
Well, guys, if you want to see how he used Token Thanksgiving, the play and the replay will be in the description below. It is quite entertaining to watch. It's a very unique card. It was mainly played in Cyberstein OTK decks or FTK decks, so it's very cool to see it being played in a Chaos build. Very unique, very spicy. And then I also wanted to ask you the Jargons. I love playing Jargons myself personally, but what were these made for? What sort of builds were you thinking about by adding the Jargons in?
It was specifically for Reasoning Gate.
Okay.
Yeah, which it did end up well, but I misplayed one real bad where I actually discarded one.
Oh.
And then I super regret that right now because I felt like I was kind of worried about Torrential Tribute if I summoned the second one, but I don't know. The person probably doesn't even use Torrential, so I should have summoned both. If I summoned both, I think I would have been pretty good. But I just discarded it, and I was like, I thought I could like pre it back, but I don't even know if I run pre. Do I even run it? Yeah, I don't even know my deck very well because I just built it right before the tournament. I don't even run premature, so that was definitely a bad play on my part.
It's funny you say that because the person that placed first, Twisted Fate, he also a day before the tournament was only changing and chopping. He was telling me how he was playing on the ladder, practicing, and he wasn't getting Heavy Storm, and he's like, where the hell is my Heavy Storm? And a day before the tournament, he looked at his deck, and he actually didn't even have Heavy Storm in his deck. He had Premature Burial instead of it. And he was like, whoa, okay, I better change that out. So, 2 of the top 4, it just goes to show people, like, it's, as much as this is a very skill-based game, a lot of luck is involved. But to make it to the top 4, you have to know what you're doing. And these players have definitely know what they're doing, even though they've had these little mishaps, which is just human. But I just wanted to ask you, if you were to go into the next tournament for probably training purposes, now that you've made it to Worlds, what would you take in? Would you go more the fun route, or would you try and build on this deck?
I'd probably do both. I'm like a troll at heart, to be honest. Like I like to do some fun things. That's why my first time I entered the GFC, I did a really spicy Reasoning Gate deck, and then the second time I played a machine deck. This is the only time I actually played a top tier deck, I'd say, or like a top tier ranked deck, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
And I don't know. I probably wouldn't keep the Token Thanksgiving. I'll probably like use something more like reasonable. I think the side deck is probably more important than anything in this. Like, it's probably more important than your main deck.
100%.
Because if you side well, it's like the changing factor.
100%.
Yeah.
And yeah, is there any? I think that does it. Is there anything or anyone you want to shout out to or give thanks to?
Oh, thanks for reminding me. I want to shout out my friend Fries. So normally when I play GFCs, I play, and as soon as I lose, I drop out of the tournament because I was growing up playing some sports, and my coach is like, you lose, you go home. You don't even play constellations or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna like play games with my friend Fries after, and then Fries is like, no, do your best, go play, and I'm like, okay. So I ended up playing, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't looking forward to playing the library FTK deck. I noticed I was playing the winner of a library FTK deck or a like a Dark Magician of Chaos Mass Driver Dimension Fusion deck.
Oh dear, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, I have to play one of those decks. I actually was really hoping that the Mass Driver player was gonna win because at least I know those cards. I actually never played Library FTK before in my life, so I had no idea how to play. I had no idea how to side. I didn't even make a side for it. So going forward, I think I'm gonna make a side deck for just the decks that I just like the alt win decks and just try and win the normal way, and then for the alt win decks, I'll just be like heavy siding on those.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, big shout out to Fries who told me to keep on playing.
Go
and
Fries.
I actually had a lot of fun.
I'm glad. That's the main thing. You just gotta have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks X23s, correct?
Yes.
Yes, X23s, guys. Big shout out to him. Please give some love in the comment section below. And once again, congrats on making it to Worlds 2021. I hope to see you bring some more spice to that. And with that, cheers, guys.
Thank you.